Thanks, Rodney. So when we reallocate resources, we are basically saying that we're going to focus on what is important and how to get there. So when you move resources from unproductive tasks to productive ones, you are progressing in the right direction. Realizing that your strategy is failing or doesn't even work is very important in the long-run health of your organization. So for example, at Navistar, where I work, for many years we went with a technology of advanced exhaust gas recirculation. We called it EGR technology inside of our trucks' engines. It was a technology that basically cleans the air that is going through your engine with a combustion cylinder by pushing large volumes of air through it to reduce the heat of the combustion, and then that in turn lowers the nitrogen oxide that's produced into the environment. So everybody else in the industry used another kind of technology called SCR, which is selective catalytic reduction. And it's another form of clean air technology that requires drivers to fill up their tank periodically with this urea, and that basically neutralized the nitrogen oxide. So Navistar wanted to be the industry leader and come up with a way where you don't have to manually do that. And they spent many years of R&D and they developed this, but on the flip side, they never passed EPA basically with it. And so for years, they were just paying the fines in order to keep producing these trucks and selling them. So the people within the industry, such as Daimler or Volvo, they filed a class action lawsuit against the EPA saying, this is not fair, Navistar can't compete, how are you allowing this? They're just paying the fines and their stuff doesn't even pass the standards. So the EPA basically gave us an ultimatum, either you fix this or we're going to shut you down. So we decided to go with SCR and had to get rid of all of that hard work, and we couldn't pursue that any further. So we had to realize that our strategy was failing. So with that being said, in our next slide, slide 8, we can talk about pruning for new growth, more like a comfortable complacency. So how many times have you been to a meeting, let's say for example, where the information said is really nothing new, the format in the meeting is kind of outdated, but you're in the meeting because you've always been part of that department or you've always been part of that process, and it just is what it is. Or perhaps you understand the role of office politics and you know that if you really kind of speak up or kind of, go against the grain, you don't want to rock the boat, your next promotion could be riding on it, right? So then on our slide 9, we talk about, going further into that political consensus. So who is a risk taker? Are you a risk taker? I mean, how many times have you come into these said meetings where a new idea or strategy didn't really seem in alignment with what everybody else said? And then you're looking around the room and you're like, well, why did that guy bring that up? He's nuts to propose that, what's going on? But maybe later on, you figure out that, wow, that really made sense, Or on the flip side, as our lovely slide is showing here, somebody's hoarder household. Are you holding on to any unnecessary products or departments that in your business are draining your profits? Like, for example, my example at Navistar. Basically, it's the ability to understand what your core product and service is and to focus your efforts there versus getting bogged down with extras or tangents or things that are not making you profitable, i.e. our picture. So on slide 11 here, our conclusion slide, we decided to put up the virtuous cascade, and it's showing all the techniques basically used in sustainability of your strategy using a specific focus on this process and executing it by pruning away at some really uneasy and sometimes difficult task decisions on what to accomplish is the best way to also expose useless processes and redundant reporting, kind of like lean a little bit. So using a strategy filter, which I'm sure Chris is going to go into more detail further in the classroom, your firm is able to find its purpose and reinfuse your strategy with meaning as well as reap the rewards of your profits. So that's basically what our bottom line is here, and Rodney will take it away with the conclusion.